Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Thursday, the 30th of January. Reading through Mark's Gospel, following McShane's reading scheme, we read the second chapter today. It begins with a story of Jesus in a house with so many people crowded around him that no one else could get in. Some men bring a friend of theirs who's paralyzed, lying on his bed, and they break through the roof and lower him down to Jesus. When Jesus sees their faith, he says to the man, "Friend, your sins are forgiven." From verse 6, now some teachers of the law were sitting there thinking to themselves, "Why does this fellow talk like that? He's blaspheming. Who can forgive sins but God alone?" Immediately Jesus knew in his spirit what they were thinking in their hearts, and he said to them, "Why are you thinking these things? Which is easier, to say to this paralyzed man, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Get up, take your mat, and walk'? But I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." So he said to the man, "I tell you, get up, take your mat, and go home." He got up, took his mat, and walked out in full view of them all. Now, as these teachers respond to Jesus, there's nothing wrong with their theology. Their theology is exactly right. Who can forgive? Only God. If you've committed a sin, only God can forgive you. And they look at Jesus claiming to forgive this man's sins, and they say, that's wrong. Which would be, unless Jesus did have authority. And Jesus then goes on to show that he has authority. And as he does that, he just puts one of those planks in place for his identity. If only God can forgive sins, and Jesus can forgive sins, that means that Jesus must be God. The man, not only is he forgiven, he's healed completely. He gets up and leaves. And Jesus underlines the point, he can forgive sins. And for us, that's the gospel message. Every single human being sins, and we all sin all the time, and we get so much wrong. And some of it we can try and make amends and we can set right. And when we've offended people, we can go and apologize and make restitution in some way. But in all of this wrong stuff we're doing, we're sinning against God as well. And we can never pay that back. There's no ways we can undo what we have done or pay for what we have done. But Jesus says, I can forgive sins. And that is our hope. As we face an eternity and we face a judgment seat, as we face a reckoning with our lives, we go saying, we have been forgiven. We have a God who has forgiven us. And as we appear at the judgment seat, whatever sins were to our account will be written off and charged against Christ. And he has paid in full. So Jesus looked at them and said, "So that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." We have that as our promise. Hold on to that. Be encouraged by that. And know that we are blessed.